Do, do. Hello. And then, oh, oh.
You're live, Chairinator.
You know. Hello there, folks, and welcome to the new. You know. So, hello and welcome to the channel, folks. This is the new channel, Chairinator Chat. So, today we've got our guest on today with us in the show of show one, and it is our good friend Lee G from First Floor Audio. So, without a further ado's, let me bring him in.
What a fine introduction there, mate.
Mate, I'm learning, so bear with me.
How you doing? You all right,
I'm
mate?
doing good, mate.
Hello, Jeddies and gentlemen. Are you well? Don't let me take over, mate. Come on. Be strong, boy. Be strong.
Lee, how are you today, my friend?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right today. Everything's good.
Good. So, introduce yourself, my friend.
Well, my name's Lee G. As you can see, I'm with First for Audio. As you know, I'm a musical engineer, a writer, singer, songwriter, producer of many, many tracks. But I also have minor disabilities with my wrists, which were operated on when I was 18 through a motorcycle accident, which rendered me careerless, and had to take simplified jobs where I wasn't doing too much manhandling of things. So and that's where I am today, mate.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you've had a right good long, like work experience.
Well, I've had the injuries for a long time. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've lived with them for many years. I mean, it's 30 years.
So
30 odd years, about 35 years, 34 years.
So I know you said that you had your injuries due to like a motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
So can you explain what your injuries are?
Yeah, they're breaks to the scaphoid bones. So that you got two floating bones in your wrists. If I can get up the photograph, I'll show you quick. If I can find them. Oh, here we go. Found it. I found it already. Right. So I'll share my my screen with you. Okay, and you can click it on the show. There you go. If you share my little screen there you go.
There
Right.
you are.
So if you see in there, look, that's the scaphoid bone right there.
Oh,
And that screw is actually supposed to be, that head of that screw right there is supposed to be against that bone there, and that screw part is supposed to be in the bone here. Obviously, it's worked its way out, and the crack has opened up. And in this one, this is just grown over, and that screw is rubbing against that bone. That's the thumb. That's
it's this bit.
right by the thumb. So both of these. I mean, if you go full screen again on my camera, just hit the little box on the bottom.
Oh yeah.
On the bottom row. So if you look, you can see white.
Yeah, I can see the scar. Yes.
See the not that there that white scar. It's hard because it's that scar there. You can kind of see it. You can. So I've got that.
I can see
but
it.
That's on both wrists. See the other one? There you go.
Yeah.
Right. So that's on both wrists, and also, so I've had those two operations. Plus, I've had carpal tunnel operations as well. But
So,
yeah, my wrists are in pain all the time. You can switch back to the screens now, buddy.
so is there no way that you could get
No,
them?
this is well. I got offered an operation, and what they do, if you show my photo again, if you share my screen again, right. So what they've offered to do is fuse the bones, fuse these bones together, and I'm like,
Yeah,
hell no. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So that's the only offer they could make me. They can't remove the screws. It's just too much hassle.
yeah,
So I've got them for life, basically, and I just have to live with it, mate. At the end of the day, it's something
wow,
I have to live with, and that's why, like I said, I play drop D on guitar, and I can only play a certain amount of songs before I have to rest bite myself, with playing piano,
yeah.
because
That's
it takes it right out of me, mate. It does.
yeah,
That's the thing people don't really understand, because obviously I'm sat here playing along, and I play for I'm here for 2 hours or whatever,
yeah,
on my show for about 2 hours. But that's because I'm constantly playing, pretty much. If I'm not playing that, I'm playing the guitar. At the end of the night, I'm pretty achy. Tiger Balm
yeah,
helps a little. I used to do the old wacky backy. That used to really help. But I knocked all of that sort of stuff on the head. Smoking of anything, I knocked it all on the head. But it
yeah.
was all
That's
it
true.
was all for it was all for pain relief. Yeah, but there's nothing. There's no pain relief that does anything unless I have hydrocortisone injections. I'm not having them either. I had them once, and that was enough. It lasted 3 months, but the problem is with that, I ended up doing too much
Yeah,
because my wrists felt healthy. I thought, oh great, I've got some. Great. I didn't even you don't fathom that you're causing more damage. So I went off and I took out a wall and I was lifting bricks and all sorts of stuff. I did a hell of a lot of work, and I just made myself worse. I damaged them even worse.
oof, mate.
I went to see a specialist. This is well after these X-rays. Those X-rays, well after them. I mean, when was that? That was 2012. Those X-rays were taken. But long after that, I went to see a specialist, and he asked me why I wasn't sat there. He couldn't. Well, he looked at me strange, and he said, I can't understand something. And I'm, what do you mean? He said, what? How come you're not sat there screaming in agony? I said, what do you mean? He said, well, the calcification between your joints, he said, is horrific. I think that's all the white deposits you see that's on there. And
Yeah,
he said it's like crystallization, like the fluids that are between turn into crystals, sort of. Yeah, it's like an arthritic thing, I suppose. I'm not 100% sure. But I said, well, because I've lived with it so long, I guess I sort of blank off the pain, because it's constantly there. I constantly know it's there. But
yeah.
like I said,
Because
I'm
you
very
maybe,
minor on the disability realm. Of levels. I mean, it's nothing for me. In comparison to someone like yourself. I mean, obviously you have massive issues. This is a tiny little issue to me, and really quite laughable. And it doesn't. I mean, you wouldn't even notice it with me anyway, would you?
yeah, but
You know,
as
if I
even
didn't
though
tell you.
you're saying it is tiny, but it is still a deliberate.
Yeah,
It's a
it's still a minor
and
disability. Yeah.
yeah, it's it, it's part of your body that you use every day.
Well, the
So
thing is, you
what
have to
it,
use your hands for everything, don't you?
yeah.
So
What
that's
I want, as you can see with my hand, right,
yep.
my hand is kind of curved, and
Yeah.
this side here doesn't
Yeah.
move. So
So
I've
you've
got
got
different
you've only got your one hand to do everything, So at
yeah,
least I've got the use of my hands and my fingers, though it hurts. Just doing that hurts. Moving my thumbs like that is killer. I can feel it grinding inside. When
yeah,
I'm playing piano, my hands are stretched out. It's hard to do it.
yeah. I can see.
When
Yeah,
they're stretched out, it really pulls. It pulls in there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
every time I move my thumb, it moves the pin around. I can feel the pin moving
Ugh,
as I'm doing that. You can feel the pin being moved. It's horrible.
I
It's
bet it
horrible,
is.
and it's constant. It's permanent.
Yeah,
I
'cause
go to
it's the
I
same.
go to bed. If I sleep on my hands, a lot of people, because I've always
Aye,
slept on my arms like this. I wake up in the morning, I can't move my hands.
Oofed.
And that's nearly every single morning. If I fall
Yes.
asleep in the chair and I fall asleep like that, yeah, I'll wake up and my hand won't move. And it
Wow.
takes me about 20 minutes for my hand to come back to life to be able to move. It's a nutty thing.
Wow. It's like myself. Like, so if I'm moving my arm, my elbow goes
Yeah.
crunch. I'm
Yeah.
like, ugh.
That's because because that's probably because that's the only one you've got to use and you've used it for everything.
Yeah. It's like
So, you know,
so. I'm
causing
going to
it.
say before we
Yeah.
continue, I'm going to say some hellos. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going
Go
to
on,
say
mate. Go for it.
hello to Midnight Society. Welcome for coming. Hello, our beautiful Nicole.
Don't forget you can click on the names on the
Oh,
StreamYard chat and they'll come up on the screen. So start at the bottom and work your way up or something.
right.
In
Okay.
StreamYard, not on YouTube, obviously.
That's something.
In the
So,
StreamYard chat. There you
hello
go.
there, Nicole.
Hi,
Hello
Nicole.
there.
It's nice that you're here.
Yep.
I was just saying. Look, she comes in on your show. Look, she must hate me.
Hello there, Henry. Nice to see you, my friend. Our good friend here, Luigi. Hello
He's an
there,
idiot,
John
mate. I'd
Keller.
get him off.
Nice to
John
see
Keller, how
you.
you doing, mate? All right. Good to see you.
Our beautiful, but always late. Kafida.
We fell in love over 5,000 miles away. Cathedral Calgary.
Nice to see you here, Kafida. Thank you for coming.
Tales
And
Untold, there's Steve. There he is.
hello there, Steve, my American brother. How are you? Thank you for coming to the channel. And that's it.
Oh no, Nicole's bit now. Bye. Nicole, I'm only mucking around, babe. It's fine. It's totally fine.
Oh,
It's totally fine.
Nicole,
Oh, look.
naughty. He's naughty.
We had a lovely chat the other day. It's fine. We were chatting offline, talking about Steve. It was funny. Anyway, yeah. Oh, babe. Oh, sorry, mate, if I've made you feel a bit. It wasn't my intention. It's like, oh yeah, come over here, mate. Don't worry about me. It's only little me, innit?
So yeah, thank you guys for coming in to my very, very first show on my new channel.
Yeah. Well, I thought I'd, you commanded that I come over here, so I thought I'd better do. Otherwise, I didn't want your wrath, mate. You know what I mean?
I asked nicely.
Nicely, yeah. You did ask nicely. You said, "Oh, you're my first guest." You pointed at me. You said, "You're my first guest," and I'm like, "What do you want me on there for? I'm not really that disabled or anything."
But
And besides that, it can be a chat with anybody. That's what I said to you, mate. Use the channel, the
Exactly.
channel. You can chat to anybody about anything. When you've got a chat channel, it doesn't have to be the interview channel. It doesn't. It can just be a chat. You can
Exactly.
get on here, have a little chat with people.
Yeah,
I know
that's
you
it.
like to talk, see? Yeah, that's all you ever do.
Yeah. I know I do like to talk. Because
You do. There's nothing wrong with that, mate. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
as I
Hang on.
said,
Hang on.
please don't.
Excuse me.
That's bogging. That's pure bogging, man. So,
Hey, the English will always back. Whoa.
What?
That is fighting talk, Stockton.
what did they say?
The English will always bow to the Scottish like hell.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
You shall
hell. Like hell. I bow or bend the knee to no man, not even myself.
Repeat this in.
Can't believe you just said that, Stockton. We used to be friends. We used to be friends. Now I'm not so sure.
So, so yeah. So as you were saying that how you with your accident, how and with your wrist, how damaged there.
Yeah.
How would you say that you've dealt with it?
Um. Well, according to the specialist, I've dealt with it very well because he, you know, like I said, he sat there and he was kept doing that. I'm like, what? He was a nice bloke. He was really down to earth. His name was Peter. And he said, I just can't understand why you're not sat there cringing and screaming in pain. I said, I've lived with it for like 30 years. You know, so either get used to it, mate. What are you going to do? Cry yourself to sleep overnight? You know, it's just the way it is. You know, you have to deal with these things, don't you? You have to just get on
Yeah.
with it, mate, and do the best you can with what you've got. The
Yeah,
problem
exactly.
is having to explain myself. That's what I hate, and I'm sure you have to do the
Right.
same thing. You do
I've
the
got to do it
same a
all the
lot
time.
with dyslexia, you know, and I kind of do the same as well. When people take the mickey out of you in certain ways, you can bite sometimes, and it gets to you. It's like
Yeah.
people have not understood why I can't play like bar chords and things like this. And when I try to, I says to people, I have to say to people all the time, well, it's because my wrists are damaged, so I can't. It's like I can't use my little finger because it just locks. Look, yeah, so I
Yeah, I can
can't.
see it popping. Yeah, that's the same with
So
my
it's
finger.
even if I play with the other hand, that
Right.
hand kind of does it, but look, it locks out. It's weird, and it's all to do with the scaphoid bone because all the other bones are connected to it. So it's connected around it, and
Yeah.
they're all floating bones, but because everything moves around it, it's all affected. It's
Yeah.
annoying.
It's because it's like when people say to me, like, Stephen, cross your fingers. I can, what, how not? Because
Yeah, yeah. You just can't do it. Yeah.
I can't do it anymore. I used to
Yeah,
be able to do
my
it.
Kimmy's the same. My Kimmy now, she can't even do that. She can't make a fist now. She's like that.
Well,
So her
yeah, I
bones are
can,
bad. And then
I
she's
can,
had chemo
I
though, so
can,
it's a different thing.
but I can't.
Yeah, yeah. Kim's got the same sort of thing, but that's because she had chemo and it's ruined her
No.
bones.
And it's like what you were saying, how when you're trying to explain something to some,
Yeah, it's not
it's
that.
like,
It's the fact that you feel that you have to explain yourself rather than saying, "Look, I have difficulties playing playing um, bar chords, for instance, on the guitar. That's why I play drop D." You know,
no,
it's a because drop D is kind of a cheap way of playing. You know, it's an easy way of playing. It's two string wonder. I mean, I can play power chords, which are two strings with one fret apart,
yeah,
but that's the extent of it. You know, I can't because as well because my wrists are the way they are. I can't get my whole hand around the neck of a guitar, and I can't because you have to like twist your hand, and I can't. I can't do that sort of movement. Absolutely kills me because obviously the when I do that, the screws digging into my wrist.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So on a guitar, see this is a wide angle. Hang on a minute. Close angle. I mean, see on a guitar, you kind of you have to play like that, right?
yeah,
So to get your hand to do a bar chord, for instance, you have to be like that and be a contortionist, and I can't do that. I physically can't do it. You know.
yeah. That's
Look at
true.
Steve coming in with all his accounts. Look.
Yeah,
That's
no,
it. Everybody in. Don't forget to subscribe, share it out, and all the rest of those things. You know, give Chairinator a. See, you should be in the chat as Chairinator Chat, really.
yeah, no, but it's just having
Well,
it.
you know, get it right, mate. If you're gonna do it, do it right, mate. You know,
Yeah, don't you start, Mister? Right?
don't do it half-assed, mate. You know, like my piano playing.
Give me a second.
Well, there's a horror story right there.
Yeah, so give me a
Yeah.
second.
Any questions? You know, I'm willing to take questions from the ladies and gentlemen. You know, this is what this is for. You know, if you have a question, post it now, and I'll try and keep an eye out for them as well. What are you doing, Stephen? What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to get my right there, and
He's a dab hand with that one hand. You know, he might have one hand, but I tell you what, he's a pro with that one hand.
Hell yeah. Actually, Lee, I'm actually logged in as the Chairinator. Like,
Oh, are you?
and I've got two channels opened. Remember?
Yeah. Wow.
So when I says,
Well, yeah.
oh, I actually hold on. Actually, hold on. I need to log in as my other one.
Oh, Kafida's trying to drop links and stuff, I think. You can't if you're not a moderator, Kafida. Hey, Kafida. I
If you're
don't
not
even know if I
moderated,
said.
yet,
No, she ain't earned her place yet, mate. Come on, you can't just
not
be
yet.
throwing out moderator statuses like that, mate. Can't
Yeah,
we?
see, yeah, I've got both of them up.
I think Steve needs to be one, doesn't he? He needs to be a mod. Steve on Tales Untold, because that's
Yeah,
the one he uses mainly.
yeah. So as I was saying, it's like how when people ask you questions like,
Yeah.
oh, how do you do this and that, how do you do it? It's what's it like people when people say to me, oh, what's your disability? You know, yeah, but look, can you not see? I've got a physical disability.
Yeah, well,
And,
you can't really see if you're just sat there like that, Steve. You can't really tell that you've got a disability. It's only when you wheel your chair back, and this vehicle is
right,
reversing. That's the only time you can really tell that you've got. Oh, he's quite physically disabled. That's the only time you can tell when you're sat against the screen like that. Really, you just look like a guy sat there doing a live stream. You
yeah,
don't.
it's what I
You
mean
haven't
is
got the look. You know what I mean. There isn't with your disability. There isn't a look unless you wheel backwards and
yeah,
you
what I
see
mean
your
is
entirety.
so see when somebody when I'm out and somebody says to me, ask me about why I'm in a wheelchair and why I've only got the one leg.
Oh, Henry. Yes, the chair is an indicator.
That air,
Yeah.
that air,
Does people actually ask you though?
I
I mean, like I said, obviously because nothing shows on me, so people just take me as an everyday dude. It's
right.
only
It's
when I
like when
start doing things for someone, or if I go. Put it this way: whenever I've gone for jobs, I've always had to indicate that I have to be careful with the amount of lifting or pulling or pushing that I do, because
right,
then I have to go into details of why. And because I'm not registered disabled, because I've never really bothered going for disability, even though I probably could get at least low care or whatever it is,
no,
but I don't do it because number one, my wife already gets that malarkey, right? And yeah, I'm probably deserved of it, but I'm one of them that likes to try and do it, make my own way, some other way. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I've
yeah,
always worked and stuff, so for me to just start claiming off the government, I don't want the government to be my daddy. Do you know what I mean? I'm kind of like that. I'm a bit funny. I'm used to earning the crust myself.
yeah. But
So
what I mean
I'm
is
a bit
that
stubborn
see,
like that.
oh, hold on.
But yeah, as for explaining myself, that's the only time really I find that I have to explain myself is when I'm going for a job interview or someone's helping me. For instance, we had a sofa delivered, yeah,
Right,
and I couldn't lift it off the van to get it in,
yeah,
but I could manipulate it in by walking it, yeah.
yeah,
So I walked it into the house, but my friend had to get it off the van. You know, I can
yeah.
do a
Well,
certain amount of lifting. That lifting like that, I'm fine, but carrying like that is where I'm not fine because it pulls on my wrists and then I can't. I have
yeah,
to
well,
do all my lifting. I use my arm there for lifting. If I can put anything on there, I can lift anything like that. It's
right.
crazy.
Hold on.
Yeah.
What
What?
this is what my channel is about,
Yeah.
Henry.
That's
It's
well, mainly, isn't it? I mean, you can chat
yeah,
about anything, but you're going to try and focus a little bit on how people cope with day to day life with
yeah,
because there's many levels of disability, whether it's mental. You see that
physical,
there's more mental you know not mental disabilities, but
mental health
ailments
issues.
or whatever, or it's not everything's physical, is it? A lot of things are mental. So, uh, and I don't mean
Yeah, there's
mental as in
what I mean,
crazy mental. You know.
what my channel's about is it's it's a talk bit for people to for like talk about how they deal with their physical disability, how they deal with their learning disabilities and mental issues. So in that area,
See,
and
that's the other thing. The other part of
with
it
me,
is as you get mental issues with it as well,
yeah,
because
I've
it's
got
the
the physical.
constant the constant pain causes you you're angry almost all the time.
Yeah,
It's hard to
so I've
keep.
got the physical side there. I've
Yeah,
also got the
yeah,
learning aspect there,
yeah,
and I've got the PTSD, which is mental health side
yeah,
there. So
yeah,
that's what I say.
yeah. That's it.
Why,
Mental health. That's it. I didn't want to say it
yeah,
so hard, but I forgot how to say it. But
and
yeah.
that's why I wanted to make another channel just so I could talk about stuff.
Yeah, but because what you want to do is try and inspire people as well, don't you? You want to try
Yeah,
and find
this
some
is what.
inspiration in
Yeah,
amongst
exactly,
it as well. You know what I mean? Because,
exactly,
like I said, there's people out there that have no arms and no legs and still somehow live a full life doing nutty
exactly.
things. And it's like, how? There's people born with really severe abnormalities and things, and yet they
It's
still
like
there's a guy that uses his feet for everything, and he plays the Xbox and is actually a hardcore gamer, and actually
yeah,
beats a lot of able-bodied people using his feet. I mean, it's a crazy
it's
thing.
like as I said to you on your show one night, about four of the songs that ones I like that
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody when I was away on holiday, and I put a smile on their face because I was saying that always trusting to change what's ahead of you. Never look back, and I was using your exact song words in what I was saying, and it put a smile on their face,
Yeah,
and that made
which is
me
which is a
happy.
nice thing. It's a nice
That
thing, isn't it?
and see when I did that, that made me happy, and that.
Yeah,
But
and that's what I'm talking about. Try and be the inspiration for someone
yeah,
else. It's better to be an inspiration for other people because you'll feel better about it anyway. That's the thing. I mean, that's the
that,
way I see things. That's why I've carried on with my music thing because I could have quite easily just not bothered doing anything with my wrist and stuff like playing piano. If I'd had that for operation for a start to fuse the bones, I wouldn't be playing piano. So that's
exactly.
the other thing. The other thing that stopped me doing it was because I like to play piano and I like to sing and stuff. So I'm not just gonna. I don't want to end up just being a karaoke singer, even though I'd have written the music or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I'm a performer, so it's hard for me to just go. Well, yeah, I'll just fuse my wrists together and just never play again. I don't think so. I'll go through the pain. Thanks very much. I'll
I
wait till
just
I literally am like that before I stop. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But then again, I'm a bit of a martyr to my own cause. And I don't do it for anybody else's sake but my own. You
Well,
know.
that's good, mate. That's good that you're doing that, and that's
But
I take my hat off to you, buddy.
yeah, and it's not. But yeah, but it's also the thing is it's not about me trying to please everybody else. If you know what I mean, it's about me just doing what I'm happy doing. And if
Yeah,
I
you
wasn't
know,
doing what I'm happy doing, then just be a bag of emptiness. And what's the point of that? I'd rather go out in a blaze of glory, sort of thing. Doing the things that I love, rather than sitting there sulking about my situation, which is just as easy to do. You know what I mean?
exactly, man. I know how it is because I know what it's going from able bodied to disabled. So I went from being able bodied to
Yeah, but like I said,
uh,
but I want to reiterate, mine is in a comparison. If you're going
I
to do comparisons, I'm light. I have also problems with my right knee and my right hip, but that's a come and go thing. I'll have if I do any strenuous walking or work, my right knee will swell up and it swells from the back all the way round to the front.
ooh,
But that's because I had a piece of cartilage removed. After I
ooh,
had the motorbike accident that broke my wrist, I was riding a bike to work and then got run over on a roundabout 2 weeks into doing that very thing. So and it is, mate. So I've lived with them, the wrists and the knee, and the hip got damaged from that knee being injured as well. That whole leg basically.
Yeah, because what happens is when you damage your leg from above, your leg
Yeah,
gets shorter.
yeah,
It
yeah.
contracts. So
It damages loads more. Yeah, it's the same as
yeah,
the
I know.
wrists. The wrists do the same thing. You know.
It's like when I got, you know what, right? When I got, and that part behind my knee got hot. That air is the main one where I get hit in the back of my knee. That's the thing. It keeps your knee up. As soon as that got hanged, I would have just strapped to the deck.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I've
I
done
say
it. But
I'm limited to how far I can walk now, and I've got actually got to go steady. You know.
yeah,
Lee, you've had a couple more injuries to the same knee too, correct? No, no, I've only had one injury to the right knee, and that was when a piece of cartilage came out of my knee and went into the joint, and that was after I got run over on a roundabout by a Frizzell Insurance, a top guy from a Frizzell Insurance company, ran me across the roundabout right outside the gates of Heron Airport, which is where I worked at the time. Now that's the other thing. See, if we're talking about money loss, right? I was on £600 a week for being an aircraft preparer, right?
yeah,
So I'd gone from cars to yachts and boats, preparing them, for paint jobs,
yeah.
and that's including all the cupboard interiors and everything, yeah, and lacquer work. Trust me, you have to be really good at what you do to get the proper finish.
Damn.
It's not like rubbing down a crappy old car or a van. It's precision, right? And you can't have no streaks, lines, no
No,
nothing. You got to get every little dimple out of any paintwork. It's rubbing down high build primers and stuff. But then on a plane, it's far more important. You can't rub a rivet, right? You're on your if you're doing the undercarriage, which is the hardest part because obviously that's where all the heat is, where it lands and where it takes off and stuff. But the engines heat up all the underneath, so all the paint is really really hard underneath, and you cannot rub through to the undercoat, right? So
yeah,
what you have to do is you basically have to spray the whole thing in a really dangerous liquid that pulls the paint off, but it doesn't take it all off. So then you have to go around tidying it all up with orbital sanders underneath. And I used to spend like 18 hours underneath an aeroplane daily, 18-hour days we used to do. Because an aircraft can only be on the ground for 18 hours and it's got to go. So
wow.
we'd rub it down, mask it up, and get it painted within 18 hours.
Jeez, oh.
Long day, mate. But yeah.
Wow. Wow, man.
Crazy, man.
Wow. So,
But like I said, I lost that whole career, and I was on £600 a week just rubbing down aircraft. If I was training to be a sprayer, and I'd have been on a couple of grand a week.
no, that's true.
So I've lost a hell of a lot of money, and of course, today's standard now that'd be a lot more money.
Yeah.
If I'd have lived in the States, I'd have been set up for life from that post office van hitting me.
Wow, man.
All I got was £3 from my wrists.
I don't know. Was give this in?
Sorry, I lie. £5. No, £5 for my knee. It was £10 for my wrists. So I lied there. Just blank moment. And I bought all keyboards with everything. The only thing I actually bought outside of that was a cot for my Litlin and a few clothes and stuff.
Wow.
Because we already had everything anyway, luckily, at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a brand new cot for my daughter Amber.
Yes. So
Yeah. And that's how I became a musician though, see? Now I could sing before. But I never really did anything of any significance live or anything. But as soon as my wrists were broken, I had nothing else to fall back on. So I fell back on my voice. When I got the money, I went out and bought myself some keyboards and started learning on my own.
yeah. Well, funny enough, that brings me on to the next question I'm going to ask you. What would you say has made you stronger?
well, becoming a musician really has made me give something to put my energies into. That so it takes me thoughts away from the lack of career and stuff. Because I did all right. I did all right. I didn't make millions of pounds or anything, but I played on boats, clubs, hotels. The usual thing.
Yeah.
Private parties, pool parties, and stuff. Played some really good places, and your usual pubs and the rest of it. I told you my claim to fame was telling Roger Pope to go f himself
Yeah.
3 times, not even knowing that because I was young. I was 19, and I used to hang around with bikers. I was one of them without being a biker. I was a biker before I was a biker, right? And like I said, I told this guy he had curly hair and fairly thick set glasses. He used to come up to me all the time, drunk out of his head at the end of a show, because I'd play at this pub that we used to hang out in called the Park Hotel, Shirley Park Hotel. And like I said, 3 times I told him to get F off. Because he kept coming up at me, putting his, when a drunkard comes in right in your face,
Ah.
like that, and he's breathing all over you, and he's like, "Oh, I want you in front of my band, yeah, like that sort of thing." And I'm like, "Fuck off, mate." And then, like I said, to find out later on, my friends told me it was Roger Pope, and I said, "Who the hell's that?" Didn't care, and he said, "You'll find out one day." And then one day he died, and there was a photo. There was a photo in the paper. I can't remember if it was the Sun or whatever. It was one of the, the top rags sort of thing of UK. And right on the front cover is Elton John's drummer dies, aged whatever it was, and lo and behold, there's Roger Pope with his arm around Elton John.
Oh, what?
Oh, well, it's a photograph of when, before that, because they'd celebrated something else, celebrated
Right.
Elton John's birthday or something, and Roger Pope was at the party. I said, "That's the bloke I kept telling to F off." Oh, shit. Yeah, kind of screwed myself over there. Yeah, that's my claim to fame, telling the Elton John's original drummer to go F himself.
Well,
3 times.
for me, my claim to fame has been on a, well, I wouldn't say my claim to fame, but been on like getting filmed, literally getting filmed, doing a day-to-day thing for a program. It was on the telly. You probably have seen it. Britain Crime Capitals.
No,
It was
no idea.
years ago. It was years ago. And every time I go in there, people go, "Huh? That's a guy who was on the telly, wasn't it?"
If you're
Aye.
talking about things like that, I was an extra once when I was 15 in a thing called Letty. It was an ITV production. You've heard of ITV, I suspect,
Yeah.
and in English
Yeah, I'm
thing.
not old.
It was about, funny enough, it was about a disabled girl in a wheelchair, permanently in a wheelchair,
Yeah.
that was to be adopted, but and it piloted, but then that was it. It didn't. But I was in the pilot, so whoop whoop.
Wow.
There was funny thing is, it was filmed at a place called Polton's Park before Polton's Park was Polton's Park, right?
Yeah.
Basically a fair, like Alton Towers, like Disneyland sort of thing, but smaller, much smaller, just for the Americans wise. But like I said, the place was, all it was a big old barn with a house and a little lake, right, and a big like gravel driveway. But the barn had very old farm machinery in it, and it was either side, and you had the ropes sort of to stop you. And all it was the scene that we were filming. I actually got on with all the cameramen and the lead men and everything, so I was just helping them. That's when we all had a situation. I'll tell you in a minute. It's funny. So all the scene is she comes walking or being pushed by 2 people through this barn, and me and my friend was stood at the end of the barn, leaning over as if we were like looking at the things and that. And all
Yeah.
you can see is our parka coats. And we just kept looking at each other like that, going, "Oh, they're coming up. Don't say nothing." Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, that was good fun. But when we were waiting to go with the crew to go on location, we're all the kids and that were all sat in the lobby in TBS Studios, and this big posh car turns up. You know, the old limousine, and out steps I've just lost her name now. Ah, God's sake. Looking out a dirty old window. Kim Wilde. Right, so Kim Wilde jumps out his car, and all the kids, not me, I didn't really give a crap, right? But I was still stood there, and I see all these kids run towards the door, and I see Kim Wilde walk through and just sort of like push her way through all these kids. Because all they're asking for is her autograph and stuff like that. She just puts her head up, walked past all these kids, right, ignored them all, went up to the desk to say, "Hi, oh, hi, Kim. Yeah, could you go on through like that?" And then she just turned and walked on through, and I thought, well, F you. That's all I thought. And you could tell all the disappointment on the girls, especially the girls, all the disappointment on the girls' faces. And I thought, well, if that's the kind of people you become when you're involved in this crap, that's what turned me off to it all. Because I was like I said, because I was with a drama company called the Chameleon Centre.
Yeah.
And it carried on after I left school as well. Because I was well into drama. I was going to do drama. I'd have been an actor. You know, that's what I wanted to do. But as soon as I saw that, it just, because I love music as well, and I've just thought to myself, the industry must, you know, if people turn out like that and they can't even say hello to a few kids, because there's only like 20 of us, you know, as this group that came from Chameleon Centre, you know, to be extras, because it was like it's a through road. Basically, you went to the Chameleon Centre, and then they got you work within the industry. So eventually, you'd end up in the industry. You know, so you start off on the ground floor, you know, being an extra, and you do that for a couple of years. And, you know, as a youngster, you think I was 15, and then you'd have carried on. But like I said, she turned me off of everything because just her attitude. It was a funny thing. Yeah, it was a funny thing, man. I just turned, not interested.
Well, because
so I stopped doing it.
For me, the one thing inspired me to doing something like this.
Inspired.
Inspired. No,
I love your special words. You're a very special guy.
You know, yeah. Now, you probably remember, you probably have seen the film, The Upside. It's about a guy who's come out of prison, and he looks for a job, and he gets a job as a stay-in carer for a rich person who's in a wheelchair.
Right.
And people talk to the person that's in a wheelchair
like he's a child.
No, they don't talk to him. They talk
talk to the matey about him. Yeah. Yeah, that's what a lot of people do. Yeah.
Yeah, because
how is he today? Is he all right? And it's like, I'm sat right here.
Yeah, because when I came out of hospital after when I got night.
Yeah.
The guy who owned the laundry in the town was like, my dad, and how's the boy? My dad turned around, like, you're right here. Ask him yourself, he's right here.
Yeah, yeah.
And he literally came down to my level and he's like, how are you? And I'm like,
that's not a thing you want.
That's how my dad's like, don't go down, just look down and he'll look up to you before all this happened. But so
that's the same as kneeling down to you. You know what I mean? It's like, who does that? It's like, you're right, mate. How you going?
Exactly, because at the end of the day,
treat him like you treat any other person. You know, that's what you want. You want the normality. You know, that's what I've always said. That's why, really, I don't really make too much of an emphasis really on my wrists and stuff, even though, you know, like I said, it's minor, right? To a lot of people, it's minor, right? There's way worse things you could have, right? So, but I would not use it as an excuse for bad behaviour kind of thing, you know what I mean, or anything like that. And the same, you know, It's the worst thing you can do. But you also don't want people pampering you because that's
Exactly.
also it's also kind of insulting, you know. It's a
Exactly.
weird thing, isn't it?
Now, folks, see if you have got any questions, put them in the chat and I'll put them up on the screen for Lee to answer if you've got any chance. Questions?
How many is it? How many is here anyway? You can see in the.
7.
Oh, that's good for your
So I've
first
got
go,
one.
isn't it?
Yep, so I've got one more question for you, buddy, right?
Yeah.
If you had any advice for someone in the same position as yourself, right? What would they be?
What would the advice be?
Yeah,
Don't give up the things you love.
it's very good.
Find a way to do it. You know, say for instance you lose the ability in in your hands, right, or
Uh-huh.
your arms. Use your mouth if you're a painter. That sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Find a way. Find a way. If not, you know, just try and stick with what you love and don't give up the things you love and strive to continue. Because I think giving up is the last thing you want to do.
exactly. I agree with that one.
But then again, it's easy for me to say from my limited position, you know, and I'm talking about my limit, my lack of limitations really, because I'm not really that limited.
No,
But like I said, I have pain in everything I do. Right, so if I lift a kettle, painful. That's why
yeah,
I've got a kettle that boils 1 cup. I just put the cup underneath it, hit the button, and 1 cup's worth of water comes out of it. I cannot lift the kettle. I have to get a jug. I have to make sure I have a lighter jug. I can't do a big jug. I get a lighter jug and I fill the kettle up twice with that jug.
yeah,
To actually fill the kettle.
yeah. It's like with me. If I, before strokes, I was able to get run the water and the dishes. Now I've got a dishwasher.
Yeah,
It does it for me now.
yeah,
I've got it. I've had to learn how to deal with things different.
yeah.
So
That's it. Well, even I have, like I said, on my limited amount of disability, I've had to, you know, adapt the way I do things. Like, for instance, this as well, opening jars.
yeah,
I have to use a wet tea towel and twist the wet tea towel, right? If it's a hard jar, to get it open, or have an actual jar opener.
yeah,
Because I need leverage. I've got no leverage in my hands. If I start twisting as well, it's like screwdrivers. I have to have electrical screwdrivers. I have to.
no. It's the same
And
with
any sort of screwing action like that, with pressure,
anything
obviously,
done.
because I haven't got the power anymore either to push it in, because I just can't grip it tight enough, grip the screwdriver tight enough with my hand.
Yeah, because that's the same with me.
And
See if
yeah,
see if I'm, see if I'm shaking somebody's hand.
Another thing as well, Steve. I broke my two front teeth.
Oh,
Right, drinking just a cup of coffee, and I get spasms in my hands as well, and then just sometimes just go blimp, for no reason, or just blimp, and I smashed my cup, broke the cup, and smashed my teeth out.
oh, nasty.
Another thing I've done is thrown cups across the room.
Yeah, because it's a nervous. It's a nerve.
Yeah, well, it's the nerves all affected. See, from the
Aye,
operations and
nerve
that.
damage. That's
So
what it
I
is.
have to, yeah, I have to make sure I grab a drink. That's why I have bottles of drink. Yeah, if you
Yeah,
notice, they've got the closed caps on them.
yeah,
Yeah, so there's not something I can spit if I do chuck it. It's just a plastic bottle.
yeah.
Yeah,
I say to
got to be
me.
careful with coffee. I'll still take the chance though, because you can't help it. But I kind of grab it like that now, rather than by the handle, because
Yeah.
that's when my hand went bang like that and smacked me in the mouth.
Oh, nasty. Because that's the same as me. See when I try to open, like if I get a can of juice, because
Yeah,
I've got to literally try and go up with my middle finger, but when I
yeah,
try to pull it, I can only get it so far. Then I've got to move my hand and get it with that finger and pull.
yeah. I'm sure it's even harder for you. But like I said, even with opening cans, I've got an electrical can opener.
Aye.
Because I can't put enough pressure in it. Oh, it's hard. This camera angle's crap, it's too close up these cameras, mate. You want to have the slightly further out one. But that's it, like that. So can opener, right? You have to grab the can opener and you have to twist it like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Mate,
Oh,
my
you've got the
pain.
one that's magnet and you put it on, you just press
Yeah,
a
I've
button.
got the magnet one, mate.
Yeah.
Ka-chink, like that.
Yeah,
Push it,
so
hold it down like that. Hold it down with my flat hand like that. Woo, and it undoes it. So
yeah,
cuts
no,
through
I've
it.
got
So
one where you just put it on and then you
yeah,
press a button, it spins round,
yeah.
the tab, yeah.
Oh yeah, I know that one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, folks, we've got less than 10 minutes left of the show. If you've got any questions for Lee, then please put the questions in the chat and I will put them up on the screen.
Now I'm gonna sit here and just going right. Where's your questions then? There.
And please also don't forget, please hit that like. If it was good, it would be very much appreciated. Hit the wee share button, and at the end of the show, please come back and well, you know what I'm trying
Leave
to
a
say.
comment.
Yes, thank you.
Come back and leave a comment. That'd be
Yeah,
great. You'd be
that'd be
bam
great.
dabby dozy.
Yeah, the wee braces.
Yeah. Ding.
Fun,
Yeah.
was it?
Grandad.
Aye.
So yeah, that's my existence, mate. But like I said, it's nothing for me. I mean, there's people so much worse off, like yourself.
Exactly.
There's another guy you might want to talk to, handicapped traveller.
Yeah, I'm just
Right, so put this down, right? Handicapped traveller and the
Shane.
wheelchair ninja.
Yeah,
Shane the
I've
wheelchair ninja.
sent him a message. I've already sent him an email, but he's not got back to me.
Right, yeah, and
So I've already sent him a message.
Yeah, because it'd be nice for you to get a perspective from a lot of other people, mate. It'd do you the world of good, mate, to see that you're not alone. Really, don't worry about me. I mean, ignore this. This is just to get you rolling, isn't it? You know what I mean? Because I'm very minor in my my disability, right?
Yeah. Also, guys, if you like Lee, you know about me, right? But guys, if you want any questions, you want to ask me a question, then go ahead and ask. So if you want to ask Lee a question about how he deals with his physical side of disability, or how do I deal with my side, put a question in, and we'll happily answer.
See, that's the thing. See, I struggle with the word disability for me.
Mate, you've got listen. People might think, using the word
because I
disability.
don't. I suppose I don't give myself the credit because I don't claim for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard to say yes, I'm disabled when I haven't been registered disabled. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what you also forget is so see how I've got a learning disability, dyslexia. That is all. You don't people say, "Oh, we're going for learning," but it's not. It's an actual. Yeah, I actually have got a disability with ADHD, learning, dyslexia. That is an actual physical. That is a learning.
Well, we only discovered that I'm on the spectrum because Stacey had to do a study because her daughter's on the spectrum.
Yeah.
And in discovering about her daughter, we were discovering about me. It's a crazy thing because I have so many traits that are just straight up, on the autism scale and the Asperger's scale. No, not massive amounts, but they're there. In some of the actions that I do and some of the things that I have, like when I have to get a thought out and it has to finish and I have to, there's many aspects. I don't want to go into it because it's a bit over the top, like I said. But yeah,
that could be a somewhere down the line we can do another stream.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I don't. The thing is, I don't lay claim to those things. It's for someone like yourself. it's kind of obvious, right?
Right.
And whereas for someone like me, if for me to, in myself, for me to go to the doctor and start saying, look, I want to claim disability, yeah, I, I, I'm going to feel scrutinised. I don't like feeling scrutinised. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? I know this. I know the struggle, and I've been doing it for 30 odd years. But then their question could be, well, why haven't you asked for it? Because you see what I mean? It's all the awkwardness. I'm not really interested in the fight for it. If I had to fight for it, do you understand?
Yeah, it's true.
So I'm quite happy just ticking along and do what I can do with what I've got, and do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So anyway, mate, you're gonna close her out then, mate.
We've got 5 minutes.
Pretty much 5 minutes, is it? Well,
Right.
yeah. Oh,
Give me a second. I'm just looking for
oh yeah,
something
I
here.
see. Yeah, I
Yeah,
forget
left
the
it.
little. I forget the little clock up in the left. I'd never look at it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm so used to
So,
my clock and knowing how long I've been going for anyway.
yeah.
It's weird. It's like I know just by how far I am in what I've been doing. You
Mhm.
know.
So, so this is what I deal with in a day-to-day life, right?
You're sharing your camera, are you?
Yeah. So as you can see here, guys, right? This is what I've got to deal with due to being attacked and all that. So I've got life-changing injuries, as you can see here,
Oh yeah, totally.
right? And this is what, and it's as I said, and this is what I says, it's a long, long road to recovery, and I'm still on that
You're
road.
still in recovery. You are.
Yeah, I'm still in a lot of recovery. So, but this is an old picture. This is before I had the 2 strokes. So yeah, this is what I did. After what happened to me, I went back to college and I started the day like holistic therapy. So I did, and
Holistic
that
therapy.
yeah, holistic therapy is like doing massaging,
Yeah, yeah.
and trust me, that was tiring. It was very tiring for me, but I did it and I qualified. And as you says, it was something that I had to adapt and overcome.
Yeah.
And I used my
But then you had to find something new, which I suppose that's where the YouTube thing come into it,
yeah,
really, isn't it? It gave you something to focus on.
yeah, and
You had to change your path again to find something new, didn't you? You know.
yeah, and I've also did other things. I went and did power boating courses over in Millport, and that was with one leg. And people says to my dad, "How's he supposed to do it?" He's like, he may only have a one leg, but he knows what he's got to do.
He
Because
know
see when
he
they
knows
go,
what he's capable of. Yeah,
yeah.
you know in
So
yourself.
when
I
I was
mean, like
sitting
now
on,
you couldn't do any of that now, could you? Not
yeah,
with your leg.
exactly. So when I was sitting on in the console driving, I was like, right, how am I going to stop myself from going that way in the water? So what I done was with my right leg, I'd bend it and walk my knee into the seat and put my foot in the side the rib.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
when I
Yeah,
turned that way, I didn't go that way. And
yeah.
when I went, no, when I turned that
No, I
way,
know what you. I know what you. I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
my
You
stump
wrapped your
would
you,
dig
you
in.
wrapped your leg up anyway. You stiffened it in there, sort of thing,
Yeah,
to
my stump would dig
stop you
into
going
the
either
seat,
way.
right? On
Yeah.
this side. So if I went that way, my stump would stop me. If I went that way, my leg on this side would stop me.
Yeah, I
So
got
I
you.
was dead straight. But when I hit the waves, that was a different story. So we're
Yes,
gonna
mate.
just about to close up. Would you like to say anything?
Yeah. Thanks very much for joining us, Ladies and gentlemen. And I'd love to see you over on First for Audio tomorrow night for songs from the
Lee, if you want
mothership.
to drop your
Well,
link.
no, it's fine, mate. I mean, everybody that's here knows the channel anyway, and I'm sure they'll be tomorrow. I'm sure, as will you be, Chairinator.
Oh yes, I will be there
Yeah.
for my
Yeah.
favourite songs.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I don't usually do those though on a Saturday, do I? They're
Yeah,
they're for
you
they're
did
for a
one of my favourite
Thursday.
songs,
Well, oh yeah, I do theirs only now. Yeah, I don't mind playing that one.
and the other
But
one,
I'll do that live.
and the
What?
other one,
What? Do as I
shout,
please. Oh,
shout,
shout. Yeah. All right. I got you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
because it's a Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
So what we'd like to do, guys, is thank you all for coming in the chat. So thank you everybody for joining me on my very first Chairinator Chat
Chairinator chat.
channel for the first recording. Lee, thank you very much, my friend, for coming.
Oh no, it's all right. My pleasure.
And please remember, guys, please share as much as you can. Share Lee, share myself out. And also, I do have the other channel, the Chairinator one. If you want to go and check that out, that's my gaming channel. So until the next time, Lee, do you want to say goodbye?
Cheerio, ladies and gentlemen. Been lovely to sit here with you.
And I would like to thank you all. So thank you very much, guys, for
Thanks,
stopping
everyone.
in. And
See you soon. See you
see
tomorrow
you
night,
all
hopefully.
down the road. And as I would say in my trucking channel, keep on trucking, but it's not my trucking channel, so that's what I would say. But I need to come up with a new phrase.
Keep rolling.
Yeah, keep rolling. That's it.
Keep
Keep
on
on rolling,
rolling.
guys. So
You're the
until then,
Chairinator. Don't forget, you're the Chairinator, mate.
yep. I know I've got
You're
to come up with a
permanent. You're permanently on wheels, dude.
yeah. So until then, guys, keep on rolling, and I will see you halfway down the road. All right, guys. Thanks very much for joining, and
See you later.
good night.